Hey guys, welcome back to Amanda's Favorites, where I have new videos every Tuesday for you. I am also putting out an extra video every month in my Patreon, so go ahead and check that out if you're interested. I would love your support over there. The link is down in the description. Today is going to be a fun video all about KitLife and my ideas with how to use their planners for lots of different purposes besides just your agenda planning and your to-dos. The way these planners are built, their layouts, I have the weekly and the daily. I have all three covers they offer. Their layout lends themselves to be used for goal planning, checking in on goal planning, journaling, recording wins, wellness planning. The weekly also makes a stellar gratitude journal. So I have a lot of ideas I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to show you some sample pages that I have made up. And we're going to look at the new cover. I just got this brand new cover sent to me from the Kit Girls. Keep looking forward. So these are their three cover choices, and we're going to look at them. And they have a planner line, which is less talked about. If you are in an office or professional environment, these might just be exactly what you need. All their planners are so affordable. This is the Delane line, and this is a weekly horizontal layout, but they also have an hourly layout with, I can't remember if it's 30-minute or 15-minute increments. So if you're someone who needs that type of time schedule, they also have a monthly only Delane planner if you just need a big look at monthly only. So we're going to look all through this Delane, which is just the weekly that I have. I have reviewed the other two on IGTV before though, and I will link that review down below. The price on this is $21.95, but you guys, I have a $5 off of any KitLife purchase. It can be used over and over. It's unlimited use. The code is Amandasfavorites. If you use my $5 off on this Delane, that makes it $16.95. If you use my $5 off on the daily, that makes it $24. And if you use my $5 off on the weekly, that makes it $17. One of the things that I've talked a lot about on Instagram this year with the KitLife planners is for the quality that you get and the quality of paper, their price cannot be beat in anything else that I have reviewed. That is a huge perk of KitLife, with beautiful hardcovers, pockets inside, coming with a sheet of stickers, coils functioning perfectly, also with a band on each planner. So let's get in and talk through these details. I'm also going to be sharing in this video today their desktop Easel Whiteboard, which is $29. You can use my $5 off on any purchase at KitLife, so you can use it on that also. It has already become a favorite in our home with my 12-year-old and homeschooling, and I will show you guys how we are using that. They also have some other whiteboard options if that one doesn't work for you, but that's the one that I'm going to share with you today. Now, I don't have any writing in this new cover planner because I did all my prep before I got this one sent to me. So I just want to show you this cover. Keep looking forward. This was done by an artist for their line this year. Beautiful light colors, and look at the back. Really beautiful. Their bands on the back stay right here if you don't want to use them, or go inside the book easily to just be kept there when not in use. So the covers are beautiful. They're hardcover. They are coated, as you can see, so they're a little bit shiny so that water or anything else just sloughs right off. On the weekly planner, you have a smaller coil, which is perfectly sized for the weekly. This is also a weekly. This is your daily for 12 months. So if you look at the ring size difference, you can see there is a big difference between the daily and the weekly. That's just because the number of pages. Now, your paper is different in the daily and the weekly also. The daily has 100 GSM paper, which equals 68 pound. The weekly has 120 GSM paper, which equals 81 pound. Because they could just work in that thicker paper into the weekly, they did not want to have to bump up the band size in the daily, and also the price because it being so much more paper. But you guys, I cannot believe that a planner that has 80-pound paper, so listed at 120 GSM paper, that you can get for $17. I mean, I just don't know anywhere else that you can get that. The tabs are quality. Everything about these beautiful planners is quality. And like I said, for the price and the quality, I just don't know of anything else that can beat it. So if the layouts work for you, this is a really great option. But that is the Keep Looking Forward cover. And then the other two cover options they have are their white marble with like the herringbone design in it. And that has your silver on the front and your silver coil. So you have that silver foiling, and that is what the back looks like on the white marble. And then you have their beautiful floral, bright, beautiful tones. You have gold foiling on the front, and so you have a gold coil on this one, as well as, I didn't point that out, you have a gold coil on the Keep Looking Forward cover also. So those are your 3 cover designs with KitLife. Now we're going to talk about some of the creative ways that you could use this, because I do already have a full walkthrough video of the KitLife Daily and Weekly. So that's not what we're going to do here today. I will be pointing out some pages in it, but for the full walkthrough, I'm going to link that video down below in my description so you can check that out. Today is going to be how I have thought of some different creative uses for this, also sharing the Delane planner for the first time on YouTube, and also sharing the desktop easel whiteboard. Let's talk about the weekly first, but a lot of this translates to the daily because these layouts that you get every single month are the exact same in your daily and weekly, as are your quarterly check-ins, as are your monthly layouts. So those are all the same in the daily and weekly. The only difference is your weekly layout and then your daily page layout. This monthly check-in is in both planners. That's why I said this makes a stellar planner to be just your goal planning check-in. So this could be just for your goals and like habit tracking check-in. It could be to track wins. What I have done in goal planning before, and we'll look at the pen test in a minute, even though it is in my full walkthrough, I have done where I kind of chart wins for the day in my planner. That's kind of what I showed you, 2 different things that I would do here. In their horizontal layout, it lends itself to journaling. And even though they have a divider line in the middle, it is very light and it's easy for me to ignore it and write all the way over. You could use this for journaling every day if you want just a small area of journaling and not pressure to write a whole lot. Basically, like you could be journaling, checking in on your wellness, on your goals, how you're doing on those, or it could be general life journaling. It could also be to track your wins every day. So that's what I've done before in a horizontal planner. As far as with goal tracking, just coming in and at the end of the day with a heart or a star next to it, tracking what you saw were your wins for the day. What were the things that you felt good about? Or what were the things that contributed to your happiness that day and that also matched up with the goals and habits that you're trying to work on? So tracking your wins, and I feel like that's really fun to look at the end of the week. And even if you just had 1 win per day and you felt like it was a really hard week, if you go back at the end of the week and you look at that 1 win per day, it can make you feel like that week was accomplished, like that week wasn't as bad as you thought it was. And you have equal space for Saturday and Sunday. And then you have a to-do list here at the end of the week. But if you're not using it for planning and for to-dos, this can be used for weekly reflection and journaling, your best moments, like as they happen throughout the week. It could be the moments you want to highlight. So that's what I would use that for. Now, if you want to use this planner just for planning, that would also work perfectly. And all your wellness is thrown in. They have your gratitudes down here, a little space for every day of the week. I also thought it could make a great gratitude journal, talking about gratitude, because you could just journal your gratitudes every day here horizontally for journaling also. So it could be just a gratitude journal. But if you want to use it for your weekly planning, it also can encompass wellness and your goals. That way, if you don't want to use it like for journaling or tracking when. I'm just giving ideas, whereas if you don't want to use these planners for weekly planning, your agendas, your to-dos, then they also make stellar journals, habit tracking, checking in with goals, tracking wins. But if you are using them for your weekly planning, they have built-in self-care on every single day to think about what's something you did for yourself, fill in a gratitude every single day, and then you have your monthly check-ins. You have room for 4 goals a month that you're going to be checking in on, habits that will support your monthly goals, and you check if that's a daily or weekly habit. Then you have spots, I just numbered this so you could see how many habits there were. You have room for 14 habits a month if you want to track that, and you can see it all at once, 1 through 31. I do love trackers where you can see a broad scope. I feel like if I only see a weekly tracker, I kind of get a skewed view of how I'm doing on anything. I really like a monthly tracker, and I even use yearly trackers myself for things that I want to continue the whole year. But this gives you a good scope of your month, and then every month you could flip to your trackers and see how you you are doing on each habit throughout the year, if those are carrying out throughout your months. I realize some months you might be tracking a brand new habit, and that might be just a habit you only need to track for a month or two until you really have it instituted in your life, and then you're not going to continue tracking it. So you might not see that flow all the way throughout your year, but I really like to see how my habits, even the ones that I feel are pretty well in place in my life, I like to see how they're flowing from month to month, because I definitely can see, like some months are harder, some months are easier. Some of that has to do with the weather and the seasons, or my kids' life, or school, homeschool with them. So I do like to see that tracking from month to month and see how each month is looking on a monthly basis, which is just something you can't get a scope of in weekly tracking. So I find monthly habit tracking very valuable. You have a note space down here for anything, for journaling, maybe tracking what was working this month or what wasn't working. And then here, every month you have these same categories, but you have a little tip that's different every month. So the KitLife planners really are based around self-care and the well-rounded person and your wellness as a whole. They are already based on that. Even if you use them as just a to-do list planner and an appointment planner, they are including all that in your life. So you have books to read. So that month, if you want to scribble down which books you're planning to read that month, or which ones you're thinking of wanting to jump into, podcasts to listen to, plans to be social, healthy eating intentions, fitness and movement plans. I feel like when you write down your plans for these type of things, especially for healthy eating and fitness and movement plans, when you write down those intentions and plans, it does something different than just if you're just thinking them in your mind. It really does give you a better chance of accomplishing them. If you write them down, you see them written, you check in with them and read them weekly. Under each one of these categories, they just give you a little tip every month. So under healthy eating intentions in January, it says pre-portion some snacks for when you're on the go. Under healthy eating intentions in February, it says have a meal prep party with a friend or neighbor. Maybe not during COVID. Fitness and movement plans, if you can, reward your movement efforts with some new workout leggings. And this one says, don't let travel stop you. Lots of workouts don't require any equipment. So there's just tips every month in a really light gray, tiny down there under each one of these categories to kind of motivate you or challenge you or give you a new idea. So that is your monthly check-in page that is in the daily and the weekly. And then you have a quarterly check-in page for every quarter. This is also the same in the daily and the weekly. They're kind of giving you a little motivation here. And then you're going to reflect back, and then you take a personal inventory about things like how are you feeling about your health, your activity levels, your body confidence? Am I feeding my mind with inspiration? So not just your body. Am I filling my heart with love and kindness? Is my internal dialogue positive? These are just check-ins, yes or no's, so really easy. You don't have to write out sentences or paragraphs, just a check-in. Then you have monthly goals that you want to work on each month in this quarter. So this is where you want to come back and check in when you're filling out your monthly check-ins, because then you would write your monthly goals there. So each monthly check-in, you want to come back and check in with your quarterly check-in. They give you some challenges every single month. Spread kindness, send snail mail, include seasonal produce in your meal planning, learn and try something new this month. And then you have a big space for notes or journaling, or maybe writing your intentions, what you want to focus on that quarter, what you want to see happen that quarter. So I've given you some ideas of how to use the weekly planner. Let's look at a few ideas with the daily planner. Each planner, although I take you through all these details in the full walkthrough, I just wanted to touch on they do come with 2 sticker sheets, coordinating with the colors in KitLife, and a pocket here up front that hold those sticker sheets in there just perfectly. That's your weekly. Let's look at some of my ideas in the daily planner. Oh, before we leave the weekly though, let's look at the pen test in the weekly versus the pen test in the daily, because they have different paper, like I mentioned. Your weekly has 120 GSM, which is 81-pound paper. It is smooth, but not slick at all, really. But it doesn't have tooth to it, really. It's a smooth. It feels very nice in hand and thick, 81-pound paper. I cannot believe that brings this planner with my $5 off code, Amandasfavorites, to $17. Here's my pen test with all the ERIN CONDREN dual tips and the mild liners. And if you look here, you see absolutely nothing. No, not even ghosting or show through because of that 81-pound paper. Now, in the daily planner, let's pull that pen test over here since we're talking pen test right now. And that paper is 100 GSM, 68-pound paper. Here are all my pens in there. And you can see on the back of here, there's really hardly, I can't really see any show through or ghosting that is to speak of to note. I mean, you can almost see the pen through there, but really no major show through or ghosting. So even this 100 GSM paper, which equates to 68 pound, you know, it doesn't feel as thick as the weekly, but it handles pen really well. And it's the same feel of paper also as the weekly. So that's your paper. On your daily planner, there are so many ways you can use this layout because they have made it where there's just this very light gray line down the center. And that lends itself to be able to just write like a journal entry in here because you really can't see the line when you're writing over it. It's not a big deal. So one of the things I would do is like I would probably write my top 3 wins of the day in here, up here on the top 3, and then I would journal about that day. It could be journaling about just things that happened. It could also be journaling about, you know, pertaining to your goals and your habits, like I mentioned earlier, but it's just a lot more room than the weekly. The weekly, you're going to have a small journal entry every day if you're using it for journaling, which some people might really want that because they don't want the stress of filling up a whole page every day. But some people would feel very restricted with a small space for journaling. Although I think a small space is really good if you're doing like a gratitude journal or just if you're only wanting to check in like daily wins or how did you do on your habits that day. I think the small space is nice for that. But if you want to have room for more journaling of any kind, then I think the daily is the way to go. In the daily, they have a whole spot every day for a gratitude for what is your activity for the day and your meal plan for the day. So it kind of lends itself to be checking in on all those other categories too, which matter so much in your overall wellness. It's already on your page right here. And if you're not using it for like agenda planning or time blocking, which you could still use this if you're using it for journaling, but you just want to have something to time block your day or see how you're using your time, you could definitely use the 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. slots for time blocking and seeing how you're using your time or putting in your intentions for the day of when you're going to be doing stuff. And then you can check in at the end of the day how that went. So there's so many ways you can do that. But I love how the time blocking's at the bottom of the page so that you have a substantial space for journaling at the top of the page. On this day, I just wrote in what I ate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or you could fill that out ahead of time to kind of plan that. If you want to plan more than just your dinner meal, have room for that to write that out, especially if your kids are at home, you know, with virtual school or homeschooling and you kind of want to think about what meals you're going to have ahead of time. If you're using this as more like a food and fitness tracking journaling and you want more room to plan out like your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you could use the top journaling part for that, like just the left side. And then this side could be a journal wellness check-in. Your workout, you could record at the top if you want to see that like first thing of the day and how it went. So there are just numerous ways that you could use this daily page. The KitLife daily page layout lends itself more to wellness check-ins, journaling, using it as a wellness or journaling planner more than any other daily planner that I have reviewed. And then at the end of the week, you do share Saturday and Sunday. So you're not going to have as much room for journaling or recording your self-care on those days, but I feel like it's substantial enough for Saturday and Sunday. I really like the peak of the week, and especially if you're using it for health and fitness, you could do all your meal planning here. You could also do your workout plan for the week here. I feel like the peak of the week goes really well with being able to use the planner in that way. Could be workouts and meals if you can write small enough and divide that down the middle. And then in the daily, you have the exact same check-ins that you have in the weekly. So you would be using your monthly habit tracking. What habits are you tracking? What goals are you working on? Checking in with all areas of your life. Also, your quarterly check-ins. I would love to hear your ideas down below. If you have used a daily or weekly planner in any other different ways other than just your to-do lists and your agendas, I would love to hear how you've used a daily or a weekly in a different way and how it worked out for you. All right, guys, let's take a look at this. It's called the Desktop Easel Whiteboard from KitLife. It's $29, but you can use my $5 off coupon, Amanda's Favorites. It makes it only $24. And I really think it's a nifty little item. We have actually already started using it in our house. My 12-year-old sits it out on a bookshelf and he uses it for his homeschool every day. So we put what he needs to do that day. Well, he's in charge of moving it, but all his stuff to the left. And sorry about, he wanted to draw and make it this way, so I didn't want to clean up his stuff for the video. But we move everything over here in the morning, and then he moves stuff over as he does it throughout the day. So this is a blank side, and then you have an actually really big graph grid size. So if you're trying to do math problems or anything like that, I actually use the ERIN CONDREN wet erase markers, just because when you have dry erase in your house over carpet, the little can slough off all the little dust and stuff, and we have light carpet. So that's why wet erase markers are awesome, because you wipe them off with anything wet, like a baby wipe. We just use an unscented baby wipe on it. The board also folds up for storage because it has this easel capability. And so you can just, you could store it in any little space that you needed to, and then pull it out when you need it. It has felt pads on the bottom of it. So really well made, won't scratch up your table and stuff. And then it locks into place when you have it in that storage mode. You have to move it in so that it will open, which is nice too. I'm a huge fan of this already. Like for homeschool, it's already been great for us because he can use this side for what he's done. We can turn it around here if we want to write anything to work out a problem or anything. Wet erase markers, you can buy on Amazon. You don't have to buy them through ERIN CONDREN if you don't want to use the dry erase markers. This is awesome. They also have a whiteboard sheet, which is just a really large sheet of whiteboard to like tack up to your wall. So if you need a big area for homeschool or something, or office work. So check that out. They have several office products, but we love this. Okay, now let's take a look at the Delane. Once again, this Delane planner is $21.95, but using my code Amandasfavorites for $5 off, it's only $16.95. It has 100 GSM paper, just like the daily planner that I just showed you. And here is a pen test. We'll do that first. It's 100 GSM paper, which equates to 68 pounds. And it feels just like the paper in the weekly planner that I just showed you. It feels like nice 100 GSM paper. You can barely see the dual tip, ERIN CONDREN dual tip marker coming through there because it's pretty thick. But other than that, there's really no major ghosting or show through. So this paper is going to handle all your pens and highlighters well too. Like I mentioned, this planner line has 3 different layouts. These are full-size pages at 8.5 by 11. These are full-size pages at 8.5 by 11. Your corners are rounded. This is the weekly option, and then they have the hourly option, but which, like I said, breaks it down into very small segments, I think 15-minute segments, and then the monthly option, which is monthly only and even smaller. I love that it has the really tiny coil, and so it's just not a big obtrusive coil, and if you need a big page space to work in, this planner might be for you. All 3 Delanes are this size. And like I said, I've reviewed the 2 other ones in an IGTV previously, the academic year version, and I will post that IGTV link down in the description. You can view it even if you are not on Instagram. So going right into your planner, you have a look at 2021. Now we are going to do a quick full walkthrough of this planner because it was not reviewed in the previous video where I shared the daily and the weekly full walkthroughs. I will just link that video down below. So if you were interested in one of those, you can go to the full walkthrough videos. You have a 2021 planning dashboard, all the holidays. You have a page for noteworthy dates for all 12 months on one page, a look at one scope. Then 2022 planning, so you can look ahead, highlight dates, look at the holidays for 2022, and noteworthy dates for 2022 to already record those doctor appointments, dentist appointments, HOA fees. Then you go into your weekly layout. We're going to look at a weekly layout where I didn't do the pen test. They do give you the last week of 2020 right there, and you'll see it's labeled week 53. Then you go into your monthly layout, which is a typical Sunday start. Holidays are noted on your monthly. You have big substantial boxes for you to be able to fit in a lot. You have a clean slate to use whatever color you want. Like if you want to assign a color per month, or if you do color coding, you have a clean slate to be able to do that. And then you have a look at your previous month and your next month, and then a big notes section. Everything seems big in this planner because it is 8.5 by 11 pages. So then you're labeled what week you're on. And this is January 4th to January 10th. You start your typical Monday start. It is also noting what day of the year you're on. So 4 out of 361 is noted there. Really small, if you can see that. Every day you have generous, ample 7 lines on the left side, 7 lines on the right side. So you could use this for appointments. You could use this side for to-dos, or you could write all the way across if you need to write longer things, because that is a very light line. You have the same amount of space for every day of the week, even Saturday and Sunday. And then you have a big notes section at the bottom. You have a look at your previous month, at the month you're on, and at your next 2 months up top of your week. So for someone in a professional setting where you constantly need to be looking ahead at your weeks, I think this is so helpful. Now your line spacing here is very generous. It is about 1/2 centimeter. And when I was writing my pen test, yeah, it's just 1/2 centimeter. When I was doing my pen test, I was loving how big the lines were. Then you just go through all your weekly layouts. Then you go right into the next month. This planner has no tabs, but it does have printed tabs, as you can see there. So as you flip through, you can easily see what month you're on. And of course, you could add tabs if that was something that you wanted to do. That would be very simple, and you would just add them over that little tab there. And that is the flow of this Delane planner. I just think these 3 Delane planners are great for those in any type of a job where you need more space, where you need substantial planning ahead, and kind of just a more professional planner. They all have the black covers, which are thick, just plastic. Nothing can destroy them. They're going to last you all year. At the end of the planner, you have a couple 3 lined notes pages, and then that is it. It's very thin, lightweight, just says the year on the front in silver, and that is your Delane planner. All right, guys, as usual, let me know any of your thoughts and ideas down below in the comments. I would love to hear them. Thanks for watching. Happy planning. Have a great week. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.